Alright guys, how's it going? I'm going to bring you guys an actual video today. It's going to be a short video, but it won't be a YouTube short, so hopefully YouTube uploads it as a video, not as a short. Let's go. So, chainsaw collection I've been posting tidbits about, and I was posting teasers on there the other day. This is my 257 Husky. This unit is waiting on a carburetor fuel intake elbow, the plastic elbow. It's $8 and it just hasn't arrived yet. This is my L65. Husqvarna. I like that saw. I've ran that saw. I've cut a lot of wood with that saw. I will say it's not my favorite. Like I would never put a small bar on that one. That is a big bar saw. This one's I'd put a 24 on that one. But this one, I used to run my 32 before I swapped it to my Echo. My Echo won't be in this video. You guys have seen it before. Just because I left it out in the truck and I don't want to go get it. So, like I said, pardon the mess. There's a little bit of mess everywhere. That shelf right there, I won't cover that. You can go check my other channel for that, just Diamond Choppers. I do have some video on that. That is just kind of where it's like purgatory. It's where all of the dead machines go to get picked out for parts and pieces that might work for other saws. You can see some Huskies and some old home lights and whatever. You know, I sell parts all over the place. I used to sell vintage chainsaws online. I don't anymore, just due to time, and it took a lot of time and effort that I didn't have, and I didn't want. It's either I quit doing it or I let people down by not getting their orders on time. So I figured it's better to play it safe and go back to that once I have the time. I still don't have the time, but I'm still collecting. We got a Montgomery Ward here. This one was from an estate sale. It was really nice when I got it. I left it in the sun a couple of days and the paint just started falling off. It's a lot of the stuff from the 60s kind of on up to the 90s era. They were really bad about not priming. They should have put a primer down. And this is really smooth metal. They should have scuffed it better. It's design flaw. But the paint lasts as long as it did, and it still looks pretty nice, so I got to give them credit. This is just an old Clinton motor. We'll cover that later in another video. This one's a Craftsman. I believe it's actually a Roper with a Craftsman brand on it. This is another Ward's, but this one's a Clinton. Like, it has the Clinton engine and stuff in it, I believe. This one is another Ward's, but it has the Tecumseh motor in it, which is kind of... I haven't had too many of those through here that I know of. We got a Remington here. This Remington, I'm really hesitant to wipe it off and clean it up because the dust has somewhat preserved it, and I have a feeling paint's going to start coming off as soon as the dust is gone and the protective layer is gone. So you can see it still has the have you read your owner's manual sticker on it, which people normally take that off. We got Remington chainsaw here. Actually, funny story, I got that from an estate sale as well. I couldn't figure out what brand it was, and I just thought this was like an instruction sticker. But no, I don't know why I didn't see Remington on the top of it, which is it's my fault. Another old Remington there. That one, I never did get it to start. I think it's just as easy as cleaning the points and replacing the condenser and stuff. Haven't gotten to it. Gonna sell it as is. Another chainsaw here. This one, the logo on it doesn't seem to match what I pulled up online. I think they're saying it's a Wright chainsaw. I think it would have had that either the hoop or it would have had the little saw thing on it. Could have also been a demo saw of sorts too. I don't know, but I'm not sure on that one. We're gonna have to figure out more information on it. It does bark off with a little fuel down the throat, but it's missing the carburetor. It's missing a lot of parts, so it's probably gonna get ported out. Or a lot of these go to collectors who need parts or want projects. Homelite XL12. Now this is the XL12. People don't roast me in the comments. You got the oil filler right here. That makes it an XL12. Not a big red or, you know, a Super XL, whatever you want to call them. That one is a Super XL. Even though it just says XL, it is a Super XL because it has the oil filler down there instead of up here. We have another one there. That one is a XL12. Little skill chainsaw. We're gonna kind of come back down the row here. This little skill chainsaw was bought, I think, from yard sale or whatever, and I got it running, and then it quit one day, and it's just been in storage ever since. We had 2 of those. We tried swapping parts, and, you know, that one sits here, so the other one must have ran. This big mamma jamma is a David Bradley. As far as I know, David Bradley was its own brand. Like they actually made their own stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. That one's pretty cool. This is a Homelite, big old Homelite. It actually has this cover with it, which I think somebody put this aftermarket because the paint don't match, or somebody made this or something. But this one is an old government issued chainsaw, which is cool. I'm not going to show you the ID numbers and all that, but it was definitely, I think it was used, because I live in Alaska, I think it was used to build roads up here or clear for runway or something, and then probably given to a local after that. This one's a David Bradley. This one's a special saw, kind of rare, I guess. You could take this bar and you could put the bar out here. I don't understand why, but I guess the idea was for falling trees, it was easier one way, and for bucking trees, it was easier the other way. I don't know. It was something that never caught on. That's all I know. You don't see chainsaws anymore with like little oil ports and stuff on them. Right here we have a Homelite. I did post about this one. That's a Homelite. What is that one? Homelite XL 101. That's it's a good shelf saw. It's a saw you can put it in your office, you can put it in your living room, put it in your man cave. It looks good on a shelf. Would I ever use it? I wouldn't, because it's not that good of a saw, in my opinion. Just the overall design of it, it's kind of almost that era that people don't like, but then kind of the era people do like. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just my opinion. It's just not my favorite Homelite that they made. This is a Holiday Edition Pioneer. So the idea behind this one was they made it look like a present. You could give it. It was a promotional deal, I think, or something. They're not that common, but they're not super rare either. It's the only one I've came across in my travels, but I figure somebody has one. This one, the nut that holds the clutch on, the threads are all stripped out, and it needs the nut cut off, and new threads cut, and then a new, probably undersized nut put on there, washer. Yeah, and then we'll go behind. Pardon the light situation. I have been battling lights in here since I moved into this shop 5 years ago, and I've been trying to buy lights, install lights, do what I can. I actually just put a shelf up here, so my light's in a funky spot right now. But another Homelite XL. This one says it's a Super XL. I don't believe that, because maybe I got that mixed up. I am dyslexic, so it is possible that this is the Super XL, not the XL12. It says Super XL, but it has to be. I'll have to look that up again. I put it in the comment section. This one's pretty cool. So this one came from the state of Alaska, SCR Forestry. People in the forestry department, if you worked in the forestry department or you know any little bit about that, what they do when there's a forest fire, they take chainsaws and water pumps and whatever, and they have designated drop areas where a truck will come in or a helicopter will land or whatever, and they'll put supplies. So as the firefighters are either retreating or pushing back at the fire, they have areas to go get excess supplies and materials, which would be why you would want your name on there, because if it gets stolen and it turns up somewhere, these saws, just like that other one over there, it's a government saw, they're old enough that they've been through auctions before. It's normally how this happens. Pallet auctions, crate auctions. The state does these auctions, and you can buy all sorts of stuff that's retired from forestry or other such departments. This is a Homelite XL, nothing fancy. That did come in with, I think it came in with this one and some others. This right here is a Homelite 360. I will say, as far as the design goes, I kind of like it, but I think I've used maybe one or two out of the dozens I've had. If you're getting into collecting, or you want to get into collecting, stay away from these. That's what I'm going to tell you straight up. There's a guy on YouTube, Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair, which I've actually talked to him before. He fixes these. I've seen him fix these, but parts, you can get the coil. Well, it's not a coil, it's a pickup. You can get the pickup coil on the flywheel, and then the actual piece down here, these go bad. And if you can't get this piece, you can't find it on the internet. You can't. I've tried. Nobody has them. I don't know why nobody's tried to recreate them. I guarantee you the patents have ran out on them, so you wouldn't be infringing on anything. This saw, a really nice clean saw. This, just like that one and like the other one over there, this one was again owned basically by the state at one point of, I don't know what state, but it's an old retired fire department saw. All original scabbard, original everything. All I had to do was dust it off. This one came in on trade. I think it came in with this one and probably that one. This is I think it was a 49 SP Johns of Red. This one's also a Johns of Red, if I didn't say that. This Johns of Red actually is a 630 Johns of Red. And this is a, what did I say? 49 SP Johns Red. Of course, we got other miscellaneous saws all around the shop. My dad has saws, my brother has saws, I have saws. They all come from me, because that's what I do. I do chainsaws and salvage, so I end up with a lot of stuff. I guess it does make a little difference. I was working on this one yesterday. I got the engine unstuck on it. I actually just bought this yesterday. So biggest thing I've been having on these XLs and XL12s, Super XLs, whatnot, is the recoils. The recoil springs tend to lose their springiness over time. and then also just general cleaning. So I've been going through trying to get this one running. This one's pretty complete. That one's pretty complete. It needs a side cover, and it needs the, it needs a clutch cover. And I have the oiler plate for it. It's missing an oiler plate still. And then the air filter housing. I will say, when you're working on vintage chainsaws, you know, spend the extra time. Go online, order the oiler plates. They don't cost a lot. You can get them used in like a hardware lot or miscellaneous parts lot for like $10. Because you're going to be battling, especially on these bigger chains, you'll be battling lubrication issues and whatnot, especially when they have a manual oil pump of any sort. You want to give it as much opportunity to lubricate as possible. So this XL, which I think is a Super XL, I could have that backwards. I guess I do have that backwards. All right, so the ones that have that up there are the Super XLs. The one with it down below are just the XLs. So that means, that's actually a good thing, because that means currently 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 Super XLs, because I have one in the house that I didn't show you guys yet. Well, I did in another video, but you'll have to wait on that one. We're going to do a test run and test cut with that one when it's done. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys glean something from this. And all of these, as soon as I get all of these tagged, labeled, priced out, I'm waiting to get a few more chainsaws. I want a few more in my stash before I start selling again. I won't be selling online, sadly. Just some of these cool saws are too expensive to ship. I used to ship saws like this, like that. The XLs, like the XL12s and Super XLs, you ship those all the time. You know, something like this I would ship. But that was probably about, you know, this one and then this 360 here were probably about the biggest I like to ship, because you get up past that, you have to charge so much, and I feel bad charging people so much, but it's just the way that the system works. It used to be, you know, you could send something for a set price. You can't do that anymore. Now it's, well, how far is it going? How much does it weigh? And whatever. And, you know, regardless of whether their plane's going that way anyway, it still costs you the same amount. So, if you guys have any questions on any of these chainsaws that you see here, let me know. This is kind of a raw, unedited video. We're using, I happen to like Android, so I have Samsung phone. And I have a Pro video mode, which kind of stabilizes it and shows me different things to do and not do. So I've been trying to use that more, incorporate that more. I don't want to get a camera. I could get a camera and all that, but I just feel that it's going to take away from the kind of the raw, you know, small business, you know, broke type vibe that I'm going for. And I'm broke, so, you know, it's not really a vibe I'm going for. It's the reality of the situation. So, yeah, I do what I can to get by. So, stay safe, stay free, keep wrenching. We'll catch you here on the next.